Hi everyone, welcome to Tarot Map. I'm Kasia. In today's video we are going to be talking about my favorite autumn deck combinations, and I hope you're going to enjoy it immensely. I'm going to change the camera view so you can see the cards beautifully presented. But before we head over to this part, I just wanted to say happy full moon in tropical Aries. So if you follow Western astrology, and this particular full moon that's still in this like past eclipse season is happening in the zodiac sign of Aries. And if you follow the true sidereal astrology, the visible sky, you find the moon activating the stars of Pisces. So I'm wondering, how do you feel? Do you feel more like new beginnings, springy, all excited about life? Or do you feel more maybe tired, maybe rested, maybe spiritually inclined with Pisces? Here the cards that I'm using are from Carnitzor's what is it? The Holistic Astrological cards. And the keywords she gave Pisces is imagination, and the keywords for Aries is enthusiasm. So it's fire versus water. Sit with it, feel into it, and let me know which full moon you think, what energies you think you will be feeling more. The next new moon after this one is on October 21st, and it's going to be either in tropical Libra sign, which screams for balance, justice and equality, or in true sidereal Virgo constellation, which is a very large constellation, stretches over big part of the sky. And here the keywords for Virgo is accuracy, but it also comes with it's earthy energy, but it's ruled by Mercury in traditional astrology. So there is still a lot of, discernment around thinking, discernment around what we take in, discernment about what comes out of our months, etc. Whereas Libra is ruled by Venus, which is a lot about feelings, but because it's an air sign, the feelings are inspired by, wanting harmony, wanting beauty, wanting to engage and create more balance in the world. So we'll see, this new moon can be an interesting one to connect both and create more harmony via using the discerning mind. How are you feeling? Because energies are intense, in my opinion, and as an astrologer, I keep watching all these cycles, and I don't know if you have been following the appearance of this interstellar object of Three-Eye Atlas in our solar system that baffles scientists alongside everybody else who is interested in this. There's loads of different theories online. I keep just observing, listening to different people. This Three-Eye Atlas, it's not really a comet, it doesn't behave in the regular way the comets do. Comets usually are from our solar system. This is definitely from outside of us. So it's been talking, like people have been talking about, it could be even like a technology. Some people are talking about updating our DNA, some information that's coming to us, who knows, but it's just interesting that it's appeared around September, October, and it's going to be in our solar system till next year. Now will become invisible because it has a conjunction with the sun, but it's really fascinating because it's baffling to scientists. It doesn't seem to be holding the laws of gravity. It can go faster, go slower, as if it was like an alien ship. So nobody knows exactly what's going on with it, but it's fascinating because it's in our solar system on the ecliptic plane, so very kind of affecting in some way the energetics of our solar system as in relation to Earth. And also there is a couple of comets that are visible at this time. Comets usually bring traditionally, they like foretellers of big changes, shifts, etc., etc. So it's all kind of mingling, not only on Earth with still like wars going on, etc., but also as above, so below, right? So it's just can feel a touch intense. We still are striving for the justice for people in Gaza. We still are striving for, justice for people of Ukraine. There's stuff happening in Africa that's, like world is going off. There's a lots of demonstrations everywhere. You can see the effects of tropical Pluto in Aquarius, but also in true sidereal astrology, the Pluto is actually in Capricorn. And that's like shifts and changes in the systems of power. So with Pluto in Aquarius, we want to focus on community and creating a vision for more equal, Earth. But Aquarius also rules technology, so there is this technocracy that can be coming through. It's just, powerful, intense, interesting times we're living in, and it's very important for people who can afford it, who have the privilege of freedom and having a fairly normal lives, to really do the work right now and create an energetic matrix for that can hold a different Earth, that can hold a different approach to reality, different approach to how we live together on Earth and how we spread resources, etc. And so I just wanted to mention this. There's a couple of things I also wanted to say that from what I was listening on QPW with David and Bella, they speak a lot about this possible convergence of timelines that might be happening on October 14th, 15th. There's a couple of different people and sources that claim that a lot of different calendars and the ways we measure time kind of come together around these 2 days, October 14th, 15th. So I'm just throwing it out there because I'm going to be observing and listening and maybe just like being a bit quieter and not being so much online and not maybe working so much on these 2 days, just to see what I feel and if I pick up on anything. And we have 2 important dates. Pluto is stationing direct on October 14th. So in tropical astrology, it's in Aquarius. In true sidereal, it's in the constellation of Capricorn. And Neptune also, if you follow the tropical, Neptune is actually re-entering Pisces after being in, it moved into the new zodiac sign, Aries, new beginning. Now kind of a lot of the planets, Saturn is already back in Pisces, now Neptune is moving back into Pisces. So for people who done the planetary breakthrough workshop with me, go back to your notes and to our video about Neptune, because now it's back into Pisces on October 22nd, so just after the new moon, that's on October 21st. We might be feeling a little bit of pull into the like resetting something, more pull into the old world, but that's just maybe a like reset and maybe the kind of like a feel of the last wave of dissolving anything that's unconsciously we are holding on to. Stuff might be still coming up for us from our unconsciousness more into the knowing, and there is just a need for deep spiritual work and quietude and solitude in some way, so we can really also feel into these things, because Pisces is a water sign and it's a sign of dissolving, of poetry, of mysticism, so taking this kind of broader perspective on life, and in some way also not taking ourselves so seriously, because in the end we're going to be poofs. In the great image of life and death. It's a cycle that goes forever and ever. Okay, so the decks. If you're still here, grab a cuppa, because we are going to be showing some amazing decks, and I hope you are going to really, really enjoy it. And I've been like just passionately embracing all of these decks. I realize how much I love shuffling decks, how much I love, putting decks together so they actually look beautiful, but also go energetically so that I feel harmony. I've got the moon and Venus in Libra, so there's a lot about balance and harmony and all these feminine kind of aspects of creating it and working with cards, having this art works in my hands and being able to draw the beauty from them has been just very healing and amazing for me. So I'm going to change the camera and let's go. And I would love to hear from you, of course, of your favorite combinations. And also if you are struggling, if you are feeling out of touch with yourself, please don't hesitate to reach out. And I offer, astrology readings, sessions, tarot and astrology mixed together. If you need any of this type of support, if this is something that works for you, please, head over to my website and check my offerings. I'd be privileged and very honored to read for you. In this case, let's go to the decks. All right. So the first combo is the Antique Anatomy Tarot. This is the first edition by Claire Goodchild, and the Sacred Nature Oracle by Holly Wilmeth. I think they both look really, really gorgeous together, and the Antique Anatomy deck is such a smart deck. So here in the Oracle deck, you get the keyword, the name of the plant, and then the plant here, and it's like just this artistic homage to the plant. And this is having this, very Samhain, very Halloween vibes. And I think just, beauty-wise, they look so gorgeous together. And there's just something lovely that goes with, trying to connect the meanings of tarot and the meanings of the keywords and oracle decks. So let's say we have the fire, 2 of fire, here we have 8 of water, and we have hope. So maybe we're moving from something, we're leaving something behind, maybe there is a breakup, maybe there is some situation, emotional situation that we are ready to release. We having hope and moving towards something and seeing ourselves maybe from a different perspective, or in a way executing our power of starting something new, of following our passion, or looking at ourselves, as I said, as an observer and realizing that we need hope and we can start again. So I love doing this, I love playing like that, and I think they just look so gorgeous. Sometimes I add the Oracle of Oddities. I have only this one, the third the third deck that Krell put out. So sometimes I use 1 tarot and 2 oracle cards, and I think they also, make for a cool connection. So let me know what you think about it. But I love these combinations, and I love reaching out for these decks around this time of the year. And I realized that when I'm stressed, when I feel a bit down, when like there's just a lot of stuff that's happening and I try to relax and regulate myself, using tarot and oracle decks is a perfect way to calm myself. And shuffling the decks, playing with the decks, just looking at the beauty of these decks, it makes all the difference. It's really quite incredible to me, and it's one of the ways that I take care of my mental health. And the next combo, let's use the very kind of, maybe this one is the most boring one because we have the big eyes. It's one of these decks that's really well suited for this time of the year for me. I love using it. And then there's also the Le Vampire Oracle by Lucy Cavendish. And of course the same art of Jasmine Beckett Griffith. So there's, obviously they're going to go, but I love using them both. This deck is so cool. This is the Beautiful Creatures Tarot. It's a mass-produced deck, as is the Oracle, and it has a lot of fun interpretations for daily draws. It's very relationship-oriented as well, so it's a sweet deck. It's a good deck with a good sense of humor as well. And the oracles by Lucy Cavendish with the art of Jasmine Beckett Griffith are always a fun addition to the readings because they just read really well. So I'm going to let this one go. I hope you're inspired by the gorgeous purple here, and let's move to some other choices that I prepared for you. One of the most amazing combos that I love using at this time of the year is the Iyami Oracle by Aminat Oladipo. I have this one of the first editions. I think now the cards are a bit smaller from what I saw on her Instagram. So this is the Iyami Oracle deck. Love this deck, and I love connecting it with the Hoodoo Tarot. And this deck is incredible. This is such a beautiful, I love the artwork, I love the guidebook, and I just think, like, as I said, whenever I use this deck, I always read this little prayer. Iyami Osoronga, the ones with the beautiful eyes, guardians of the night, I greet you gently. And I always ask, like, whenever I have any practical readings, any spiritual reading, anything that I need to really get, you know, not like a daily draw, like what's the inspiration for today. It can be as well, but I usually use this too for something more serious. And I just enjoy this, you know, invocation and magician. How cool is the combo, right? With the Hermes ruling, Mercury ruling the magician card. Esuodara with Dr. Grant. I just love both of these decks, the artworks and kind of the feel. Oh, this was the one of the cards that I pulled as a first card on my Vipassana retreat. Maybe that's why I feel so connected to this oracle in particular, but also I feel very connected to the Iyami. I don't know, they just, sometimes that goes beyond boundaries, beyond borders of where you live. Certain, you know, spiritual beliefs just you connect to or you don't. But yeah, this combo is amazing. And I encourage you to look through your oracle decks, through your tarot, and try to find decks that, like, you know, fit energetically, fit also visually, so you can create some beauty for your days. And try to figure out how the keyword of the oracle can be connected with the meaning of the tarot, or just go only via images if this is something that you want to practice, and see how that works for you. Another amazing combo that I think is like so spectacular is Circle of Doors Tarot and Materia Prima Oracle. It's so pretty. This one I can just stare at, and I think just because it's so gorgeous, like production wise, both of these decks are incredibly beautifully made and produced. And then when you have this gold black, you know, and I should probably just, I'm not very skilled in doing usually I don't do it this way, but I like when people do it like this, so I'm inspired by all of you who do it like this. Yeah, so we have, and again, like here we have the, you know, table of all the, like, periodical table, which is quite incredible idea. And then we have the amazing tarot deck that's photographic, that's beautiful, and with amazing guidebook by Brian Duff. So I think this is such a cool combo. And usually I would use one of these cards with one of these, but, you know, just for the sake of spoiling you with the beauty, take a look at how cool these cards go together. Like, another autumnal combo that I really love is this gorgeous Carol Herzer's Golden Soul Tarot that Natalia has sent. And this Energy Archaeology Oracle, I love this deck. I wish more people spoke about it. I don't know why it's not more popular. Maybe it is, and I just don't see it, because right now we in general don't see many things on Instagram except for advertising. But yeah, I really love the energy of this deck because it's very healing and very kind of autumnal, late summer, autumn, you know, like this sense of kind of falling leaves and gold, a lot of gold energy. And this one has, it's a very healing deck in its own right, because it's very energetic. And I think because of glitter addition, and then how the energy spreads in the body, there is something beautiful there, like her being like a tree, and you know, here we're having a tree. I always love looking for the combinations, for elements that repeat, something that looks similar. You can get a class of mine that I have for download, which is called How to Read Unusual Decks, and I explain different ways and show different examples of how I do it. If you're interested, do it. So yeah, these two very cool healing. Oh, I love this, like a raising up as a swan, and here as a judgment card. Really, really cool. And by the way, the nails of today, I think they're cool. And this is a ring I got in New York from a friend of mine, Gabby, and one of my clients also, which we caught up in New York, which was lovely. Hi Gabby, if you managed to watch this. So yes, Energy Archaeology Oracle deck. I do have reviews of most of these decks, maybe not all, but most of them. So please go to Oracle and Tarot Reviews and you can take a look. Okay, my favorite combo of right now is remembering the Sweetful Tarot and the Spirit Carrier Oracle. I have shown it before. They both, I think these decks were just made for one another. It's such a pleasure and fun to work with these two. They're so beautiful. And you know, the way they look together is just stunning. They have similar mood, similar vibe, similar colors. They come both from British Isles, and it's just so great to try to figure out, you know, how they both speak to one another. I love playing with decks like that, and creating combinations. I also have this creative tarot class, which I teach how to use a lot of oracle decks and tarot decks in one reading, and you also have a PDF with different spreads, so you can also take a look at this if you're interested in learning more or checking out the way how I do it. Enjoy it. It's, you know, very affordable. So yeah, these two incredible decks, very beautiful for, I think, autumn and also winter decks. I love using them when the snow is out. Also very, very cool. And then another combo that's very, very sweet, I will show you right now, is these two, Doula and Tough Tarot. So this is that Polish version of the USGM Müller new edition of the Tough, which I love. This is my most beautiful edition of Tough that I have. And then we have that Doula Oracle, and I think they just look so good together. I love it. I love it. Love it. And you know, what has been blocking your sun? Witness love. I love them. I love them. It's very, very cool. So these two I have been also playing with. Okay, another combo is the Witch Sister, and I like to connect it with these messages from the Light meditation deck. The Witch Sister has a bit of a, you know, kind of how would I call it, like a moody character, and it's very earthy. And the messages from Light, they are much more, let's call it spiritual, you know, that give like just another addition to the earthiness of the cards. And I like to, again, find connections between these two and see how, for example, the initiation, which is the hangman, and contemplation as the oracle, how they go together, how one can inform the other, and how we can, you know, gain insights from trying to understand those two systems, Oracle and Tarot, in connection to one another. So the land as the world, like, it's so beautiful, this card. I really, really love it, with cherishing, right? So there is, and I love how her hand is on her heart chakra and on her chest. It just seems so protective and appreciative and like filled with grace and gratitude. And then there's this cherish keyword that's so beautiful. Sometimes this can be that the oracle card can remind us to shift our perspective, like this with Nine of Skies, which is, you know, like Nine of Swords, where, or maybe we feel despair or are kind of, you know, in the dark clouds. The reminder would be to open up to gratitude and really fire up our hearts, etc., etc. I think it's just beautiful. All right, I have a couple more. Don't despair. I hope you're enjoying the video. So the next one is something that I've shown before as well. They're my two witchy decks. So one is the Cozy Witch Tarot deck and one is the amazing Crimson Asteria Tarot deck. The Cozy Witch is on the lighter side. As I mention often, I love the keywords in this deck. They always, it's very inclusive, and they have like a really sweet take on the tarot archetypes. So here we have Three of Cups, and it's that come together with your coven. Five of Pentacles, nothing is ever as hopeless as it seems. So it has very like positive, encouraging take. And then the Crimson Asteria is like one of those decks that's very, I call it witchy, like true witchy. It comes with this additional card of Medusa, and one is a bit more serious and kind of, let's call it like an adult. This one is more childlike, but together I feel they also bring in that kind of autumnal, Halloweenish feel and magic. So it's maybe a little bit different art style, but they kind of work for me though, and I like to inform this side of, like, so let's say I would pull 2 cards or 3 cards from the Crimson Asteria and then maybe one from Cozy Witch, or under each of the Crimson Asteria card I would pull Cozy Witch and see how I can, for example, here we have 7 of Pentacles, if this beautiful tree, and you know, tree takes time to grow, fruit takes time to grow, there's always the right time for everything. And here we have 2 of Wands, your decisions decide your future, here nothing else. So when we have both of them, they seem a little bit like intuitive, you know, because this one is like decide to work and it's going to work, whereas this one say, well, maybe you decide to work, but sometimes the time might not be right. You might be patient, you might develop something for a while, right? But both of them can give us some advice on how to go with our day, etc. So that's what I would do with these two, and I think, yeah, this deck in general is pretty cute for this time of the year. So that's Crimson Asteria and Cozy Witch. And then there's kind of like 2 people that used to be quite present on IG and they not anymore, which I miss them. So one is Jessica Zinchuk, this is her Story Medicine Tarot, and one is Letty Luna, and this is her Oracle deck. Letty has also created lots of cool sculptures, etc. And now they both kind of disappeared, unless I don't know, I don't see them. So this deck by Jessica, the Story Medicine Tarot, is the second part of her series, and Letty just created this oracle at some point for herself, and I don't think it's available anymore. So this one is on Game Crafters and this one is out of print. But they have known each other as well in real life, and I feel like the energies of these two are complementary and very feminine, and there is just a lot of cool things that can be drawn from these two decks. So I'm just going to show you a couple of examples, and let me know what you think. I think that's pretty cool. Wow. 8 of Swords, here's like wake up woman, and there's censored. So it's a really interesting combination, very random. All right, so this is the Story Medicine Tarot, very beautiful. I love this deck. And the lattice oracle, it's called Inner Queen Oracle. Inner Queen Oracle. These two, I tried it at some point and I thought, oh, that looks so good. So this golden Wirth tarot I bought in one of the Polish shops called 8.com.pl many months ago, a long time ago, because I was craving Wirth illustrations. I really enjoyed it. And this one is a bit of a baroque side. It has, you know, this kind of like glitter, nearly glitter-like, so it's nearly Carol Herzer, right? But it's a beautiful major arcana only take on tarot from Oswald Wirth. And I used to just use these cards. You know, reading with majors only has its own wonderful feel. And often when I use Marseille, I do the 3-card readings. But then I also added to this the Mysteries of the Red Madonna. This is by Hetty Grobler, amazing Red Madonna Mary Magdalene deck. And because this one is so rich and so, let me just maybe make it a little bit bigger. This one is so rich and gold and shining, and this one has also that feel of this beautiful red edging. It also has this feel of being like baroque, you know, there's like abundance of elements, abundance of symbols, and I just felt like they both can give an interesting reading. This one, I often use the book for it because Hetty has done so much research and she added so much information to the deck. And of course, when you read with the majors, it might just either inform the major or vice versa. Major can inform what, let's say, Mary Magdalene is here to share with you. And yeah, both of these decks are really incredible and amazing. But with the Red Madonna, it takes a while, you know, it takes time, it takes a lot of maybe research or sitting in meditation with these cards. They also energetic transmissions from Hetty. You can join Hetty's Patreon, and she always shares so much information. So if you're interested in the subject, in Divine Feminine, in Mother Mary, in this whole lineage of Divine Feminine, you might really enjoy Hetty's Patreon and historical decks. Part of older passion of mine, but I still love it. And yeah, this Golden Wirth was by Los Scarabeo, so that was mass market. Another combo that I'm enjoying, and this deck comes out in autumn, and I received this deck at some point years ago from my friend Victoria. So again, Victoria, if you watch it, hi, I hope you remember this still. So this is a Fluorescent tarot, and why it comes out in this time of the year, I often like to use it when I actually feel down and I don't want anything fucking happy. I don't want a hug, I just want to marvel in my depressed state of being. You know, sometimes you have these days that you don't need anybody to tell you anything good. You need to really go deeper into your into what you're feeling actually, or like connect with the sadness, connect with the negative, let's say, emotion. And this deck by a friend of mine, a really good friend of mine, Vicky Liddell from Australia. It's the Language of the Earth Oracle, has a totally different vibe. It's very helpful, but it's not just like this sweet deck. It also has like really good, you know, advice in the booklet, and I like the connection of both of them. I always use this oracle to figure out how I can better work with this archetype. So let's say if I pull the Knight of Swords, this obviously has like, he holds a huge sword. There's like something like maybe I'm a bit like cut off from the influx, you know, like he's got this helmet which is metal. I always feel of like crown chakra being kind of a bit blocked. But there's this huge sword that I'm holding, so I'm like really stuck on one thought, like, and it's like nearly takes over, you know, and I don't see anything outside of it, and I'm just really focused on one thing and maybe a bit stuck on one. So here the path of the green would be, you know, maybe a flower essence would help me, or working with a plant, or doing some herbal magic would allow me to maybe broaden my perspective. So that's usually what I would do if I feel really sad or, you know, stuck. Then I would use water, healing, etc., etc. So for 9 of Wands, love would be an answer. You know, like that's how I would be connecting this particular 2 decks. And I think like they work so well energetically and artistically in some way. And this one brings hope to this one. And this one is kind of just easy to experience what's being felt, you know, and what needs to be what maybe needs to be experienced. So I feel like these decks look really lovely together and bring like nice completeness to the message that wants to be shared. So a Fluorescent Tarot and the Language of the Earth Oracle, really nice combo for right now. Last one is, I always usually tend to pull Usi deck, the Pagan Otherworlds, around this time of the year. This is such an amazing deck. I love this deck, and for some reason I rarely pull it out, but whenever I do, I'm like, oh my god, it's so good. It's so good. And this deck works so well with, well, I connected it with the Anatomy of Healing by Fran Zisler, because I feel like they go really nicely, like visually. You know, I like this kind of connection of a little bit of the body. This one is quite an earthy deck, and then I usually would pull one of the oracle cards, not 2, and 1 or whatever. If I do a reading or spread, then of course it's different, but if it's like a daily draw, I put 1 card, let's say, and 1 of this, and I would see, okay, sweetness of life, pancreas, and this is 6 of Pentacles. Maybe that would be like sugar or sweet or something. I would start thinking, all right, maybe I could pay attention, you know, with pancreas and sweetness of life, how is my intake of sugar. 6s are usually about balancing it and, you know, giving, taking, receiving and giving. So I'd go, you know, this direction, but this deck, it's incredible. And the other oracle deck that I love to use with it, and in general this oracle deck recently is like one of my favorite, I love it. It's this Inner Compass oracle, and this one is totally minimalistic and it's just so cool. I really just dig this oracle, and I feel like it works also really well with any deck really. But yeah, with this I think visually it looks really nice because the color palette of these oracle cards is very similar to, you know, they're browns and goldens and yellows and etc., etc., and it just looks nice together with the Pagan Otherworlds. But I've been using this deck with Circle of Doors, with, you know, other decks as well, and they go together really nicely. It goes well as well with Witch Sister Tarot, etc., etc. Like one of those decks, you know, when you have a minimalistic deck, it goes with many decks, right? But I feel with this one, because it's a bit pippish, it just looks so nice. So there is something also to be said about it. And how I've been using it, usually either I would pull like, yeah, 1 card and maybe 1 card from the oracle, or I would have like a session of, let's say, 3 cards for a day, or if I have a question or stuff like this, and then I would inform each of these cards, so like tower would be connected to practicing. So again, there's like this disruption in a sense of like maybe reshifting, rebuilding, rechanging the elements of how I, like, let's say it's a situation, so I see it this way, but the cards are suggesting to practicing seeing it, or, you know, changing the ingredients in some way and mixing it and shifting to the other way and trying another way. Trying another way is like maybe a keyword for that. And then we have here like 7 of Wands. There's some sort of well, in this card it looks like a blockage in a path, right? But also strength, maybe support. So the card says messenger, and here we have this something like a little letter hanging here, or somebody bringing a letter. This is air element, this is fire. Maybe we will receive a message, but maybe it will be blocked, maybe we won't quite get it, I don't know, but maybe a message will arrive. And there is this Wheel of Fortune, a change, and here the card brings us purity. We also have a book to this deck. All these little things mean something. Maybe this is the new moon, maybe after the new moon, and there is a little line, there is, you know, element of the chakra. Is this the sacral or solar plexus, one of the chakras? So here we have the wheel, here we have the wheel, purity, you know, this keyword, and the Wheel of Fortune. Right now nothing springs to mind, but that's the point of like really trying to connect. And sometimes it's I skip the keyword, and if I see any like visual resemblance of, like, let's say the moon, and here I felt like it's like a dark moon and the crescent moon coming up, so maybe something like the message that's arriving, it's not ready to be received, or you know, it doesn't come to my awareness. It's only going to happen maybe after the new moon on 21st of October, something like this. So this is what I would be just playing with, and I love playing with those cards. It doesn't always have to answer my deep questions. Sometimes I just practice for creativity wise, but that also is a way of practicing tarot craft. To be a good tarot reader, you know, you approach cards as like a constant fresh teacher. So it's always showing you something new. It's always learning how to be with the cards and how to find new ways of seeing them. So this Pagan Other Worlds is so beautiful. Such a cool deck. So yeah, it also has the moon cards. How did you enjoy my choices? What would be yours, please? And if you new here, please subscribe. If you old here, please like the video. If you like it, maybe share or do a VR and tag me. I would love to hear your choices. And take care of yourself. Stay in the present moment. This is the best way to discharge, you know, pressure when we feel it. And let's keep hope, and let's keep working towards the better world, okay? Something that we all can be proud of. So I speak to you soon. See you. Bye.